Right now, former refugees gather to discuss concerns still facing the community in honor of World Refugee Day. Plus, the man charged with plowing his car through a Waukesha holiday parade changes his plea. And storefront destruction on Willie Street continues. A car plows into yet another business. News 3 Now at 10 starts right now. Thank you for joining us tonight. It was a hot one today, and it will be even hotter tomorrow. That has our weather team declaring another alert day, and the National Weather Service is issuing a heat advisory. So let's go right away to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with a closer look at what we can expect tomorrow. Gary?
Yeah, tomorrow will be a real scorcher, Charlotte. The higher heat, the higher humidity will make it feel a lot warmer. In fact, we have an alert day in the forecast overnight into tomorrow. Muggy conditions tonight with low temperatures in the lower 70s, but heat index readings staying around 80. And then tomorrow's high temperature of 96, coupled with higher humidity, means that the heat index will make it feel like it'll be between 102 and 107, dangerously hot for some people. The time lapse from the WISC Skycam showed clear skies other than a few cirrus clouds coming in from the east earlier today, and pretty much that's pretty much it as far as any kind of cloud cover. But there are north and west severe thunderstorms have been breaking out north and west of the Twin Cities, where temperatures reached the triple digits today. La Crosse hit 98, Madison high temperature 92 degrees, Milwaukee 94. Right now temperatures are in the upper 70s to the lower 80s, but dew point temperatures in the upper 50s in Madison climbed to the upper 60s out toward La Crosse, and that's the more humid air that's moving in. Heat index right now still feels like 83 in Madison, but it feels like 92 in La Crosse. Heat advisories in effect from noon until 7 p.m. tomorrow for all of southern Wisconsin. Look for a low of about 72 degrees tonight. High tomorrow 96. Just an outside chance of a shower or thunderstorm late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that does show a break in the heat, but probably not until next week.
Thank you, Gary. So if you work outside or are planning to be outside for an extended period of time tomorrow, be sure to stay hydrated and understand the symptoms of heat exhaustion. And as always, to stay up to date on all things local weather away from your TV, download our free Channel 3000 weather app. Next at 10, it is World Refugee Day, and the United Nations says the number of refugees around the world has now topped 100 million, and a third of them are children. More than 5 million of the refugees come from Ukraine, where fighting rages on. More than a third of Ukrainians have fled Russia's invasion. The United Nations says nearly 2/3 of Ukraine's children are now homeless.
And I've seen a number of children, even young children, severely traumatized by what they've witnessed.
In this crisis, Americans are stepping up to help, from celebrities like Ben Stiller, who was spotted in Kyiv over the weekend, to everyday folks who are volunteering their time and donating to the ongoing crisis. Many refugees now call the Madison area home. We heard from many of them during a discussion tonight. News 3 Now's Armand Rahman was there and joins us with their stories.
Charlotte, along with celebrating success and recognizing challenges, the message of many of the resettled refugees was to not forget about those fleeing countries across the globe after the millions escaping Russia's war with Ukraine have been dominating the headlines recently.
It's not about celebrations only, it's about a wake-up call.
For those who have made new lives in the area, World Refugee Day serves many purposes.
When I commemorate such day, like such event, it's like to try to show support to those who are still going through those situations. We show that we are together with them.
That support coming from Jewish Social Services in Madison, helping many of the refugees who spoke.
The refugee communities that are growing and thriving in Madison add to our community and bring lots of positive impacts, including economic, including cultural, and it's a good thing that Madison is such a welcoming community.
Many came from the Democratic Republic of Congo, which has been suffering war and genocide for close to 30 years.
Someone who has never tasted the war cannot understand how it feels like you leave everything behind. You even leave some of your dreams.
Since he got here 3.5 years ago, Kasim Rajab now has a job helping other refugees get settled in Madison. But he says after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, many others in need are being overlooked.
You wonder, like, Congolese lives are more or less important than Ukrainians. It's not a good politics. It's like double standard, which affects the population of Congo.
The World Refugee Day event took a pause due to the pandemic, further stressing Muntader al-Shamari and his disabled brother's arrival from Iraq.
We had to stay at home as much as possible to make sure that any one of us won't get COVID, and it was just unknown, and unknown is scary.
Muntader has since started studying cybersecurity at Madison College. His is one of many happy endings these refugees chalk up to their new community.
I've made Madison my home, and I was one of the lucky refugees to being resettled in Madison.
And Jewish Social Services of Madison hopes to resettle 180 refugees in the next fiscal year. They say in order to do that, they need to hire more case managers and need more affordable housing from community partners.
Thank you, Armand. We are learning new information about the 3 suspects involved in the kidnapping turned homicide from last week. All 3 defendants, 28-year-old Jesse Freiberg, 38-year-old Laura Johnson, and 21-year-old Jekenia Patty are charged with 1 count of first-degree intentional homicide as a party to a crime. The criminal complaint says the victim was being held hostage inside one of the suspects' homes. The victim was then hit several times with a metal object before being dragged into the hallway, into the elevator, and eventually into the victim's vehicle. All 4 of them drove to rural Columbia County, where the victim was eventually let out of the car and, as they ran away, was shot multiple times. For more of the details on this case, including how the arrests were made and why detectives believe the victim was targeted, we have an in-depth story on channel3000.com, where you can download our free Channel 3000 news app. In Waukesha County, the man accused of driving his SUV into a parade in Waukesha last November is changing his plea. This evening, Darrell Brooks' attorney say he is changing his plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. Brooks faces more than 80 charges, including 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Earlier in the day, the judge dismissed a request from the defense to move the trial out of Waukesha County. Madison police giving up an update tonight on the Williamson Street crash, where a car smashed into a building. They say the driver suffered a medical incident prior to the crash occurring. The driver had a minor laceration and no other people were injured as a result of this crash. The driver did not show any signs of impairment and was cited for the traffic violations. The car hit the Willie Street treasure shop. The woman who owns that shop nearby, neighbors, and the neighborhood official all say this crash is far from surprising on Willie Street. In talking with the committee of chair transportation for this neighborhood, that these kinds of accidents are far from rare in the area.
Be weary as a business owner wanting to open something in the neighborhood because of this trend. And from a resident perspective, with all of these crashes that have happened on a busy pedestrian and biking corridor, it worries me for the safety of people who live around here.
The committee chair believes this is the 5th crash involving a business on Willie Street since he started on the board. He says he most recently reached out to the city for help a couple of weeks ago, but has not heard back. And in New York City today, a similar situation. Multiple people were hurt after police say a taxi cab collided with a cyclist before jumping a curb in Manhattan and plowed into a group of pedestrians sitting at a bagel shop. This happened around 1 p.m. at 29th Street and Broadway. Police say at least 6 people, including the taxi driver, were taken to the hospital. 3 of them have life-threatening injuries. A preliminary investigative report into the Uvalde Elementary School mass shooting is expected in the next 4 weeks. The Texas House Investigative Committee is looking into what happened at Robb Elementary School last month when a gunman opened fire, killing 21 people. The police response to the shooting has been criticized. The incident is the 2nd deadliest K-12 school shooting ever in the United States. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol is set to hold its 4th hearing tomorrow. California Democrat Adam Schiff will lead the questioning. 4 witnesses are expected to testify, including about death threats they received due to the false claims of fraud by former President Trump. Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill.
The 4th hearing of the House committee investigating January 6th will focus on former President Trump's efforts to pressure state election officials into overturning the 2020 election.
We'll show during a hearing what the president's role was in trying to get states to name alternate slates of electors.
On Tuesday, key witnesses included GOP leader in Arizona state legislature, as well as Georgia's Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. 4 days before the January 6th attack, Mr. Trump called Raffensperger in this now infamous phone call.
I just want to find 11,780 votes.
Former Georgia election worker Shay Moss, who was falsely accused by the former president of a fake ballot scheme, will tell the committee about death threats she received.
The committee says the former president's insistence that the election was stolen helped fuel the crowd on January 6th. In recent days, he continued those false claims.
We had a rigged and stolen election.
Mr. Trump also criticized his Vice President Mike Pence for not participating in his scheme.
Mike Pence had a chance to be great.
Pence did not respond to the attack during a speech in Chicago Monday and made just a brief and indirect reference to January 6th.
You know, we've all been through a lot over the last several years. A global pandemic, a divisive election, a tragic day in our nation's capital.
Members of the committee say they have not ruled out issuing a subpoena for Pence to testify. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Congressman Adam Kinzinger, a Republican on this committee, says he recently received a written death threat against him, his wife, and his 5-month-old baby. News 3 Now will live stream the hearing tomorrow, and CBS will have live coverage starting at noon. A new ABC News poll gives a preliminary look at how the public is responding to the committee hearings. It finds American views of former President Trump's responsibility for the breach haven't changed much. In the poll, 58% thought Trump bears a great deal or a good amount of responsibility for the attack. The poll also found the same share. 58% say Trump should be charged with a crime related to the attack. Yellowstone will allow visitors to return this week for the first time since closing due to record-breaking floods. Officials say Yellowstone's South Loop will reopen to the public Wednesday, but who will be allowed into the park depends on the day. Still ahead at 10, President Biden says he may suspend the national gas tax as we continue to see record prices at the pump. Plus, it is a massive floating restaurant that has been a mainstay since the 70s. This weekend, it's sunk. That story is up next.
Fjords has been crafting beautifully designed functional furniture since 1941. Every aspect of Fjords furniture has been carefully engineered to create a higher level of relaxation. Right now at the Century House, purchase any Fjords furniture and receive up to 20% off. All models, all sizes, all colors. Experience the unmatched relaxation you can only achieve in Fjords furniture. Relaxation made beautiful. Visit the Century House at 3420 University Avenue in Madison or online at centuryhouseinc.com.
It's Terrific Tuesdays at Hy-Vee. This Tuesday, get fresh ground chuck, only $1.99 a pound. Pringles, only 99 cents. Bakery Fresh Mini Cookies, only $3.49 for an 18-count pack. And Folgers Coffee, only $7.99. Tuesday only. For more ways to save on hundreds of items every day at Hy-Vee, check out our monthly catalog, our weekly ad, and scan the QR code to visit HyVeeDeals.com for even more deals.
What can Sono Bello do for you? How about a new shape?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
New confidence.
I can see a huge difference. Look at this.
New you.
I can wear a little black dress. I feel sexy.
With Sono Bello, you can remove stubborn body fat permanently in just one visit. Don't wait a moment longer to reveal the new you.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation with Sono Bello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist, and find out how you can get $250 off. Sono Bello uses Tri-Sculpt micro-laser liposuction to remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently for incredible transformations in just one visit.
I have one big regret. I didn't go sooner.
Call 1-888-622-8360 or go to sonobello.com.
Joe Biden opened America's borders, increasing the flow of deadly drugs into our communities. Last year, over 105,000 people died of drug overdoses in America. Biden's putting our children and families at risk. Ron Johnson is warning everyone that drug traffickers are adding fentanyl to counterfeit pills, and it only takes one pill to kill. Please tell your children and support law enforcement.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
A fragrant oasis is giving residents and visitors in the 608 a place to heal mind, body, and soul.
Josh Sprider finds out what makes this special garden grow.
And it's the first day of summer and feeling like it. We stay ahead of the heat wave from 4:30 to 7.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. If you feed your dog Fresh Pet, listen up. The company is recalling the 4.5-pound bag of Fresh Pet Select Fresh from the Kitchen Home cooked chicken recipe because it might be contaminated with salmonella. As you know, salmonella can make humans sick and cause stomach issues, and it affects animals the same way. For more information, go to FDA.gov. A gas station in Milwaukee is doing something good, giving away thousands of dollars of free gasoline today. This BP gas station received a donation from the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. It is the only Black-owned gas station in Milwaukee and was giving away $20,000 worth of gas with a $50 maximum per vehicle. Looking ahead, President Biden is expected to make two big decisions that will have an impact on Americans' finances. Today, the president said he may decide soon on whether he will temporarily pause the federal gasoline tax. This after several lawmakers floated the idea of a gas tax holiday.
Well, I hope I have a decision based on data I'm looking for by the end of the week.
Will you be sending Americans gas tax cards, gas rebate cards?
Well, that's part of what we consider. That's part of the whole operation.
The president also says he's nearing a decision on student loan relief, but did not give any details on his possible plan for forgiving student debt. Delays, cancellations, and a backlog of baggage have been commonplace at airports in the U.S. and Europe. And the CEO of United Airlines says government help is needed to get things back to normal. Scott Kirby says United and other airlines are facing challenges after 2 years of reduced activity following COVID-19. In the U.S., airlines have been limited in the number of flights they can schedule due to a shortage of staff. Kirby says air traffic control is also understaffed. New tonight, 2 sheriff's deputies in Florida have been disciplined for sharing information about comedian Bob Saget's death with the public before his family was notified. Both deputies admitted they improperly shared the information, which is a violation of department policy. The exact nature of the disciplinary action was not specified. Saget was on tour when he was found dead in an Orlando, Florida hotel room back in January. Check this out. Hong Kong's famous jumbo floating restaurant capsized yesterday after encountering, quote, adverse conditions in the South China Sea. No crew members were injured. The vessel, which resembled a Chinese imperial palace, has welcomed celebrities such as Queen Elizabeth II and Tom Cruise with Cantonese cuisine since 1976. Today, residents said their goodbyes to the iconic restaurant as it was towed away from its home of 46 years. More local news. Tribal members and students from the Ho-Chunk Nation setting out on a week-long journey along the 4 lakes of Madison and the Rock River today. The 15 Ho-Chunk Nation youth, along with some adults, began a 5-day journey this morning, paddling from Madison to Beloit. The educational and spiritual journey in dugout canoes follows the path their ancestors have taken for centuries. Dugout canoes were one of the earliest forms of travel used by the Native Americans. And here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with a look at a hot first warn forecast.
Well, being out on the water probably was a good place to be as long, well, some of the reflection,
you know,
yeah, it'll get you too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, tomorrow, it's going to be hot all over. I don't care where you are. I don't care what you're doing. If you're outside, you're going to be affected by it. And we have an alert date in the forecast overnight, actually, for muggy conditions. The humidity will rise overnight, and heat index readings will be around 80 overnight. So that will be detrimental to people who have health conditions and don't have air conditioning at home. But tomorrow's high of 96 with a heat index of 102 to 107, downright dangerous for some people. And, you know, as far as safety tips are concerned, they're obvious, but people don't always heed them and end up getting in trouble before too long. make sure you stay out of the heat, stay hydrated as much as possible, get into air conditioning, limit your outside activities, especially in the hottest part of the day between about 10 a.m. and maybe 4 p.m. Wear lightweight and light-colored clothing to reflect the heat, and make sure you check on elderly people as well as infants, very young kids, and pets as well. They all are more affected by the heat than people in good physical condition. Tonight, the heat is breaking with severe thunderstorms rapidly developing over parts of central and northern Minnesota, but those are staying toward north and west. Tomorrow, as a cold front approaches from the northwest, possibility for an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm late in the afternoon, early in the evening. This will be one of those situations where maybe 80% of us don't get any rain at all, and a couple of strong thunderstorms pop up in a few spots. But heat advisories are in effect for all of southern Wisconsin from noon until 7 p.m. tomorrow. Excessive heat warnings remain in effect for the Twin Cities metro area overnight, and you can see those heat advisories cover much of the upper Midwest. High temperatures today, 101 in Minneapolis, 100 in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 101 in North Platte, Nebraska, Omaha, 96. Madison was at 92. Right now we're at 83, but look at the Twin Cities, still at 92 degrees out ahead of those thunderstorms. And notice the dew points in the 70s now, just south of the Twin Cities into western Iowa. And you factor those together, this is the current heat index. Still feels like it's 96 in Minneapolis. So, I mean, that just shows you how intense the heat is. Fortunately for us, it'll be just one day out ahead of those thunderstorms that will be moving in from the north and west. You can see a cold front there. And once that front moves on through, the temperatures will still stay pretty warm, but the humidity will drop a bit. Our temperatures right now, lower 80s here, but La Crosse still at 88, Minneapolis at 92. And again, those dew point temperatures pretty high out to the west of us. But you can see on Future Track, quiet conditions here overnight as the storm passes to the north, and then maybe a thunderstorm chance in a couple of spots late tomorrow afternoon into early tomorrow evening, and then after that, they're all gone. So heat advisory, noon until 7 p.m. tomorrow for all of southern Wisconsin. Look for a high of 96 with the heat index 102 to 107, and maybe a late afternoon thunderstorm. Future Track shows clear skies overnight, low temperatures in the lower 70s. Tomorrow up into the mid-90s. Again, a couple of thunderstorms popping up and moving through pretty quickly tomorrow evening. Then as the winds shift around to the northwest tomorrow night, we'll see temperatures still in the mid-80s for Wednesday, but at least with a drop in the humidity. The 7 to 10 day forecast back to the upper 80s with a little more humidity toward the end of the week, and that'll bring some more thunderstorm chances. But after Saturday, notice the temperatures drop off again. Temperatures around 80 and low humidity for the first part of next week.
From 8 straight losses to a sweep, the Brewers return to AmFam Field for a pivotal series. We have more on Game 1 with the Cards coming up next in sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Get inspired. Tour 30 custom homes and see the newest trends. The Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns, is open daily, June 17th through 26th. Visit MadisonParadeOfHomes.com for tickets and more information.
Repeat after me. Computer screen off. Happy hour on. One of the best parts about being an adult is we get to call this networking.
Brothers Maine enjoys 4th of July festivities with family, friends, and fabulous kitchen and laundry deals. Our fireworks of savings on GE appliances and free delivery will make you ooh and ah. Feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Everything's so expensive, it's stretching our family thin. It never used to be like this. It's tougher on us to make ends meet because America's too dependent on China, and Ron Johnson's making it worse. He voted against cracking down on China with tougher trade deals and voted for tax breaks to corporations shipping jobs overseas, and even refused to punish China when it manipulates its currency. And Ron Johnson even defended shipping American jobs overseas. Senator Johnson, stop making it easier on China and tougher on us.
At Pick and Save, we believe it takes the right team to bring you fresh produce. That's why we partner with farmers who grow only the best, because working together is truly what it takes to be fresh for everyone. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
With eye care, the medicine you need may cost less than ever before. New in 2022, you pay a $0 copay for all of your Medicare-eligible Part D drugs up to the coverage gap. Then your cost will be the typical extra help copay amount. You'll also receive up to $2,500 in dental benefits and $300 in vision benefits. Call the Eye Care Benefits Helpline for a free consultation to get all the benefits you're entitled to. Rest easy. Eye Care is looking out for you and your health.
Those brave men and women of our armed forces, generations of them. Why should today's burdens fall back onto them? They were there for us. Now let's be there for them. Your local Wisconsin energy providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund are working together to deliver Wisconsin veterans in crisis heat, power, and help staying in their home. But they can't do it alone. Donate today.
Nebraska is kind of like that odd kid. Didn't say much in school. Slightly peculiar, maybe. But when you took the time to get to know him, turned out he was pretty interesting. We know some people won't take the time, but if you're someone who will, odds are you're gonna like it here. Nebraska. Honestly, it's not for everyone.
Return to Milwaukee fresh off sweeping the Reds for a 7-game homestand, and tonight a pivotal series begins with division rival St. Louis. Now coming into the series opener, the Crew and Cards are tied atop the NL Central standings, and the season series is currently split. Offense quiet until the 5th. Keston Hura on first. Tyrone Taylor demolishes this ball. It's his 7th home run on the season, and on the bump, Corbin Burns just doing his Cy Young thing. He fans 10 batters over 7 innings of work, and it's a pretty strong night for the bullpen. Devin Williams and Josh Hader, who's recently back from the paternity list, helped get the shutout. Brewers move back into first place. Mallards and Dock Spiders take their series on the road. Madison snapping the skid to win this one 5-2 and split the series with Fond du Lac. Mallards return home tomorrow night to start a 2-game set with the Woodchucks. First pitch at the Duck Pond is set for 6:35. And following the Lightning's Game 2 blowout the other night, former Badger Ryan McDonough made it a point to say the Bolts needed to up their execution and intensity. Well, message received. Lightning cut into the Avalanche's lead with a monster 6-2 win at home tonight. No points by McDonough. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup playoffs is set for Wednesday night. And it's already time to start talking about Madcaps hockey. Tonight, the team released its home schedule for next season, and the home opener is set for Friday, September 30th against Dubuque. The Madcaps are coming off a historic season in which they reached the Clark Cup Finals for the first time in franchise history. NBA Draft Week is finally here, and come Thursday night, lots of eyes are going to be on the lookout to see where Johnny Davis goes. Several mock drafts came out today, and pretty much everyone agrees that he's a first-round lock. The models have him going anywhere from the top 10 up to the 20th overall. If Davis goes in the top 10, he'll be the first Badger to be drafted that high since Frank Kaminsky went 9th overall in 2015. The Big Ten Player of the Year finished his sophomore campaign averaging almost 20 points and just over 8 boards a game. Also, the Bucks have the 24th pick on Thursday night. Draft gets underway at 6:30 at the Barclays Center in New York. And speaking of Badger hoops, former guard Khalil Iverson suiting up in red, white, and blue to play for Team USA in the FIBA 3-on-3 World Cup. The tournament begins tomorrow in Belgium and will run through Sunday. The United States' first game is against Austria tomorrow. We'll be right back.
It's a short drive to big adventure at the National Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium in the Port of Dubuque. General admission gets you access to all exhibits for 2 consecutive days. Plan your adventure at rivermuseum.com.
Back again at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison with another big winner.
We're here with Pete, who just won $50,000 on Progressive Slots. How did you do it, Pete?
Well, first off, you get your Rewards Club card. You put that in the slots, the slot of your choice, of course. Now, there I am. I'm seeing that machine. It's looking at me. We're vibing. And
it's vibing?
It's
okay.
vibing with me. And then I start pressing buttons. Mash those buttons, as many buttons as you can press.
Buttons. There you have it, folks. Advice from a winner.
Well, I guess it's all about the buttons. Who knew?
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Visiting the Tobacco Credit Union was the thing that started all this.
We had a lot of student loan debt, low credit scores for bad decisions we had made in our younger years.
We thought it was the point where you could never come back from it. We've always wanted to own our own restaurant, so I just kind of floated the idea like, oh, I found this food truck.
I was like, yeah, let's try it. Dupaco helped us so much with just putting everything together.
Definitely life-changing for us.
What we have right now would not have been possible without Dupaco Credit Union.
Most senators couldn't tell you the cost of a gallon of milk. Thanks, Ruben. Or how much beef has gone up this year. But I'm not like most senators, or any of the other millionaires running for Senate. My mom was a teacher, and my dad worked third shift. I know how hard you work. And I know that by bringing manufacturing home, we create jobs and we lower costs. If we want to change Washington, we got to change the people we send there. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Dude, great ride.
Right?
This Silverado keeps me connected and in control. And this touchscreen is my command center. My command center.
The 2022 Silverado LT. Find new control. Find new roads.
Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
When my family opened the first Culver's in Sauk City, Wisconsin, you know what we did? We gave it our all, making sure everyone felt welcome. Sharing our favorite foods from around the state, like Butterburgers and fresh frozen custard. Greeting every guest with all our heart, crafting each meal with care. Believing a smile makes everything taste better. And it's a tradition we bring with us yet today, from our hometown to yours. Welcome to Delicious.
It's time to climb, build, discover, and play at the National Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium's newest exhibit. Live, work, and play in harmony with nature at Forever Forest. Now open. For tickets, visit rivermuseum.com.
Call for action only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Finally tonight, legendary investor Warren Buffett's annual auction for lunch just went for a record-breaking price, $19 million. The bidder is remaining anonymous, Jordan, but whoever it is, they get to have a private steak lunch with Buffett and up to 7 guests at a New York City steakhouse. The money goes to the Glide Foundation. It's a San Francisco-based nonprofit working on combating poverty, hunger, and homelessness.
That's just a 6-ounce sirloin. So.
Yes, and everything else is a la carte after that. So, no, but wonderful, wonderful investment. Really,
absolutely.
I wish we could invest in air conditioners.
We're going to need to.
Yes.
Thunderstorms to our north and west tonight. Possibility for an isolated strong severe storm late tomorrow afternoon, but a heat advisory from noon until 7 p.m. Temperatures right now still in the lower 80s with dew point temperatures in the upper 50s, around 60.
All right, stay very, very cool tomorrow. Do something good, and we'll see you tomorrow.